Hi, I'm Rabbi Dunner. Welcome to my weekly Erev Shabbos Torah, this week for Parshat Vayikra. The first pasuk of Parshat Vayikra reads as follows: Vayikra el Moshe vayidaber Hashem elav me'ohel moed lemar. He, God, called to Moshe, and God spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, Lemar. Now, the word lemar is an odd word. We always translate it into English as saying, I just did, but that is far from a perfect translation. The Gemara says that the word lemar means to say to others, and there is a halachic significance to this. You're only ever allowed to share information you've been told by someone else if they specifically say that it is lemar, that you have permission to repeat it. Look up the Gemara. It's in Yuma, Daf Daled Amud Beis. The Gemara says that if you repeat without permission something you've heard from someone else, then you've transgressed the prohibition of Gilui Sod, which means revealing a secret. Of course, we're all familiar with the idea of lawyer-client privilege, and also the similar concept of doctor-patient confidentiality. A lawyer or a doctor are not allowed to reveal information provided during a consultation with their client or patient. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm often asked if there's a similar legal constraint which prevents rabbis from revealing anything they've heard from people who speak to them about personal matters. It's an interesting question, right? And the truth is, I don't know the answer. Maybe there's a lawyer watching this who can give us the answer. Put a comment on the YouTube. But whatever the legal issues are, it makes no difference to a rabbi because, as we've just discovered from the Gemara in Yuma, the halacha is crystal clear. Unless someone specifically gives you permission to reveal information you've heard from them, the lemar clause applies. And you can't say it to anyone else. It's as simple as that. That's it. The Medrash Yalkut Shimoni in Parshas Emor makes the following statement. It was in merit of 4 things that the Jewish nation was redeemed from Egypt. The first 3 are very well known. Lo shinu et shemam, lashonam, umalbusham. They did not change their names, their language, or their style of dress. The 4th one, however, is less well known. They were worthy of being redeemed from slavery in Egypt because they did not speak lashon hara. They didn't engage in gossip or slander. That's it. They were not into petty tittle-tattle. Okay, so it's a nice idea, but what proof does the Medrash have? Well, here it is. The Medrash says that clearly none of them spoke lashon hara because we know that they were able to keep a secret. What's the Medrash talking about? What secret did they keep? The Medrash gives an intriguing answer. The secret they kept was God's original message to Moshe in Parshat Shmos, when he said, I'm going to take the Jews out of Egypt, and before I take them out of Egypt, they're going to go to their neighbors, Egyptian neighbors, and ask for their gold and silver. The Jews heard this prophecy before the whole plagues situation had even started, but they never breathed a word to anyone. It wasn't a lemar prophecy. It was a prophecy that needed to be kept under wraps. And as a result, the Egyptians never knew a thing about the gold and silver until the moment of redemption. Many months later, it was only then that they found out. But let me get back to the main premise of the Medrash. The Medrash says that we know none of them spoke lashon hara. Why? Because we know that they were able to keep a secret. But how does that make any sense? What is the connection between keeping a secret and not speaking lashon hara? The answer is black on white, found in a posuk in Mishlei in Proverbs, chapter Yud Aleph, posuk Yud Gimel, Hoylech Rachil Megale Soid. Someone who slanders is a revealer of secrets. You see, the main problem with a Baal lashon hara is that they simply cannot be trusted with information. If a person shares something that they have been told in confidence, the fundamental problem is their indiscretion, and it is this that automatically leads to lashon hara. But if you can keep a secret, you probably won't fall into the trap of lashon hara. Still, What is so great about being able to keep secrets that made the Jewish nation worthy of redemption and salvation? The answer is that leaving Egypt was all about believing in and keeping the word of God. We needed to accept the Torah and believe in God. When God tells us to do whatever it is, we must have faith in him and believe that these things have to be done. But you can't be a believer, a ma'amin, unless you are someone others can have faith in, a ne'eman. You can only believe the word of God if you are a person who values a word. If I cannot be believed, then when God says something, why would I believe it? The more trustworthy a person is, and the more meticulous one is about one's own words, the more one will be faithful to the word of God. It's such a powerful idea, and how appropriate to be able to benefit from this incredible lesson just before Pesach. Wishing you a wonderful Shabbat, and I look forward to sharing more Torah with you next week. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.